morning, everybody, and welcome to the vlog. I hope the start of your day is amazing. I have a little bit of an issue that I have to solve here this morning. The good news is we had some morning gecko eggs, actually 2 sets of them. There's actually 2 females in here, and they are absolutely adorable. And of course, these are the ones that are parthenogenous, so they don't have males. The entire species is nothing but females, and they lay fertile eggs that hatch out female-wise. So it's really cool. Now, the eggs actually adhere to whatever they lay it to. Therein lies the problem. One set of eggs is way up here in the corner. The problem is that one of the eggs is on this side, the other egg is on the lid, and they're adhered together. I can't take the lid off, because if I take the lid off, I'm gonna crack the eggs. The eggs are actually hard, unlike snake eggs. And then the other one happened to lay eggs right here on the lid that actually opens up, the little trap door. So now I have an issue. I can't take the lid off. I can't open the lid. These guys are gonna take a month and a half to 2 months to hatch. So obviously I've gotta feed these guys. I've gotta take care of them. I gotta mist them, stuff like that. So now my dilemma is, how do I get them out of here and turn this basically just into an incubator, remove the adults without hurting the eggs, and I'll have to set up. So the first thing I'm gonna do is figure out the solution here, which I think is just gonna be cutting this hole like this and somehow getting the geckos out. But I have to set up a new tank for them that won't have the same issue down the road. First thing we're gonna do is actually set up the new tank for the morning geckos. This should be good. We'll get a little bit of egg laying tubes in here too that we'll add in the next week or two, but at least there shouldn't be anything here where they lay their eggs where we can't actually open the cage up like what just happened. So I'm just gonna foam the back of this backdrop really quick. And this is just gonna adhere it to the back of the actual tank here. And once it dries, we'll go back in and foam it up just a little bit more. I just want to get a pretty good bead on it here. I just push that here. Now what I'll do is I'll just take some shims and just measure where they'll kind of fit in there. I can just push them like this, kind of wedge them. All right, so we're gonna let that dry for probably an hour, hour and a half. We'll go through and seam the same thing with that foam. We'll seam that up a little bit, then we can set it up. And in the meantime, we're gonna try to figure out how to get these geckos out of here. Just a quick recap for those of you guys that watched yesterday. We did the flooring, right? These are the 2 options that we're gonna go with. This is smooth and now it's completely dry. And this has a little bit of texture, some sand in it. I love the way the smooth one looks. It looks so nice, but that is gonna be a nightmare to keep clean. And the animals are gonna hate it. And if it gets wet, people are gonna slip like crazy. It looks like ice over here. So we're definitely gonna go with this one. It's really beautiful. Got a little bit of texture to it. I think it's gonna look good. So here, after we get done with the walls and get the drop ceiling up, probably about a week and a half from now, we'll have them grind this floor out, epoxy it up, so this is the winner. All right, guys, just a little real time with you guys. I just want to recap what we've got going on, what we are going to continue having going on with the actual expansion here. Obviously, we came in, we tore all the walls out, which was a job in itself. Then cleanup was even a bigger job because we had to throw it all away. Once that was all done and we kind of got the plans together, we had to pull permits, of course, and then we started building the rough walls. And then after that, we actually knocked out the wall that connects the 2 buildings. And now we have the rough electric in, waiting on inspections before we can move on to the next part, which is going to be sheet rocking it, finished electrical, drop ceiling, HVAC, which is heating and cooling, has to come in. They have to get their permit, pull that, get that done. Then we actually head down to Texas in 9 days, I believe it is, to finish the last enclosures. I think there's only like 3 enclosures. We've got the iguana enclosure, salt and peppers, the finish on that one, and then of course the anaconda that we're gonna build, which is gonna be absolutely ridiculous. Then February 3rd is the install date, which, by the way, if anyone can help out on February 3rd, help us bring stuff in, set stuff up. We need 20, 25 people. We already have some people, but if you are interested, let me know. info@bhbreptiles.com. Let me know. Would love to have your help. We really, really appreciate it. Once the install is in, then it's just really a matter of like kind of getting everything patched up, make sure all the heating, thermostats, lighting, UV, all that stuff is set, and then put animals in. And then that's kind of an interesting thing too. And I actually even have to ask you guys a question, and this may get me in trouble, but I was offered a really large reticulated python. I mean, literally bigger than Lucy by about a foot and about 40 pounds. I mean, so really big. Still in very good shape, 12, 13 years old. It's a friend of mine. I've actually seen the animal and actually even played with it before. So it's a 21-foot snake that's 240 pounds. Pretty tame, you know, so she doesn't have the attitude of Lucy. So I'm thinking, do I add a big snake like that into the Reptarium? We have the cages now that we could actually do it, but I'm trying to think, you know, number one, it's in California, so I gotta get all the way here from California. And Lori may kill me on that, I don't know, but I want to have a giant snake that we could take out and let people hold. I mean, we have Daisy now, 100% sure, but this is even bigger, more impressive. Let me know in the comments, do you think I should do that? And then I have to just kind of decide what other animals beyond what we already have and what we already have lined up. There's still a lot of work, guys. I mean, there really is, but it's getting close. It's going to be pretty amazing. Send those positive vibes, guys, because I have a lot on my plate and a lot has to fall into place to make this thing work.
I don't believe them. I think they're putting me on.
Why? What are they telling you now?
Tell us what your tramp stamp is.
Oh yeah, no, it's a dolphin.
No, I don't care what you want.
It's tribal. I don't have one.
There you go.
I don't have one.
This is a pretty interesting animal. I'm sure I've never had it on the vlog because it has a weird story behind it. We actually were sold this as a leucistic corn snake. Obviously, it's got some weird pattern on it. My presumption is that at some point someone bred a leucistic Texas rat into a corn snake because it just looks a little bit bigger than a normal corn. The head structure's a little bit different. Definitely looks like a corn snake, but at the same time, I think there's a little rat. That's why we've really never bred it. Even when I bought it as a baby, I had my doubts, and that's one of the things that is a problem with hybridization, right? I'm not against producing hybrids, but when people don't represent hybrids properly, if someone was to buy this and really thought it was a pure corn snake like we did, and then bred it and produced corn snakes that weren't really pure, it kind of muddies things up a little bit. In the grand scheme of things, everything is captive anyways, but I really want to be sure what the genetics are in the actual species that I'm breeding, right? I'm pretty sure this probably has Texas rat in it, but nevertheless, really cool snake. Probably just be a pet because I'll probably never produce anything from it, but hopefully one day someone will actually produce a pure leucistic corn snake. It's weird that they haven't already with the thousands and millions of corn snakes that are produced all the time. It's pretty crazy that there's never been a leucistic. I'm going to take Ace out here, the D'Albert's python, and you guys are going to see why I'm going to take it out in a minute. But it gets a little bit cranky when he's in his cage, so I've got to somehow just get him to know that I'm not food. See, a little cranky. But once he knows I'm not food and he's all right, he usually gets pretty good. So we're gonna take him out. And the reason I'm taking him out, and I keep saying him, because to be honest with you, I don't know the sex of this animal. I got it from a friend of mine that was its pet, and I love it to death, and I don't know if it's a male or female. He said he wasn't sure either. Well, Kevin, my friend over at Nerd, of course, got the male albino, the T-positive albino, and he asked me to sex Ace out to see if it was a girl, so maybe we could breed Ace to the albino and produce some heterozygous animals. Now, thankfully enough, at this size, you can usually avert the hemipenes and see what they are, and I tell you what, I am pretty sure, and I'm just going to get a little bit better grip here, I'm going to just go ahead and just get a little bit better shot, and guess what, guys? This is definitely a girl. So Ace, the male D'Albert's, is a female D'Albert's python, which means I can talk to Kevin and send this out and have Kevin breed her and hopefully get some baby heterozygous D'Albert's pythons. Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to be bummed out because I love having Ace here, so I wouldn't send it out for permanent, maybe just for one breeding season, get her back maybe this summer. So there you have it, Ace. You are a girl. The foam's all sealed up here and completely in. Now what I'm going to do is just seal all the edges with this before we move on, because these geckos are really small. If they get behind the backdrop, I'm in trouble. I got to rip the whole backdrop out. Don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and just foam this up, and then we'll kind of fix it up a little bit later. The thing that's nice is even if it doesn't look perfect, you can go back up and touch it later with the silicone and the cement, something like that. So again, we'll let this dry for another hour or two before we start figuring out. Then I've got to somehow figure out how to get those geckos out of there. Last week's podcast was one of the funnest things that I've done. I tell you what, I didn't know how I would like it. So much fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It's called Checking In. Put a link in the description. Go show it some love. Actually, this Wednesday we have Max Strong. If you guys don't know Max, he's a guy on Instagram, really cool dude, plays with lions and hyenas, and just an all-around awesome guy. Got a big following on Instagram. I'll put a link in the description of that. So again, tune in Wednesday, 5, 6, something in that range. We'll go on and we'll be on for an hour, sometimes maybe in 2 hours. Who knows? live chat the whole shot. So definitely show that some love. I cannot wait to do this podcast.
Setting up this little cage here for the morning geckos. This will still probably be a temporary setup for them. I ultimately want to get them in a bigger cage that's bioactive, but for now we're just going to do this so we can get them out of the little prison they created. So that's it. Pretty temporary setup, so it's not very like involved or anything, but they'll be happy in it. I put some like a good layer of leaves down there. I've noticed that they like to hide in the leaves a lot, especially when it starts to dry out during the day. I think they'll be really happy in there.
All right, so the idea is to take this little Dremel and actually very carefully cut a window out here that Jessica, and I did say Jessica because I'm not going to do it, get them out because I'll let them loose, Jessica. You know that. They'll be all over the place. And we're going to have to just slowly take them out. Then I can put the window back, tape it up. When the babies actually hatch, I'll be able to then take them out and get rid of this cage forever. And hopefully when they lay eggs in this one, it'll be better. So let's hope this works out. Ready? What if I mess this up? Okay, so here we go. I can now take this out, hopefully. And somehow we've got to try to get the geckos from in there. You think we'll be able to do it?
Yeah, probably. You gotta keep them towards the opening. Okay?
I don't know. I can't, I'm sure I'm not going to do it any better than you.
Like, get it to come out the hole.
There it goes. Get these guys back in here. Not as easy as we expected. There's your new cage, buddy. One more to go.
Don't do it, Brian.
No, I'm not going to. I'm just going to take out this out.
Make it a little easier.
Make it a little easier.
All right, Jessica, number 2. Let's do it.
It may have gone in the tube.
If it's in the tube, that's even better, right? Just take the tube right out.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, she is. Perfect.
Is he in there?
Yep.
All right. So there's just the 2, right?
Yeah, just 2.
All right.
Here she goes.
Awesome.
So now I'll just put this back on, and I'll just tape it up to where it stays on there. And then when the eggs hatch, we can take the lid off and get the babies out and stuff like that. So I know it's a disaster, but I think it all...
Probably don't try this at home.
Yeah,
maybe.
probably not. Okay, we did the best we could do. In the comments, let me know how horrible we were. And if you had other ideas that we could have done this with saving the eggs and getting everything, I'm sure the Dremel wasn't the best idea, but hey, it all worked out. The geckos are fine.
Sense, so, I mean, whatever.
Hey, it worked, all right? So there we are. We'll keep you updated when these babies hatch. All right, guys, so it's all taped up. It wasn't my best work, I gotta be honest with you, but hey, hopefully these eggs will hatch. The adult females are in their own new habitat that I think is much better, also very interesting looking, and that concludes today's video. If you enjoyed this, you can do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast channel right over here. Here's an entire playlist you can run through if you so choose. Over here, you can hit the subscribe button to this vlog channel. Please turn the post notification on for both of them. Have an absolutely wonderful day. Be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you guys tomorrow.